the canonical circuit model of our switching converter, and that is the last sub module of our modeling and control of switching converter. Okay, so in my last class I discussed about different averaging method, means switched averaging method of switched converter, like okay, switching modeling means switch model of converter. So today I am going to discuss about canonical circuit model. Okay, so all are related to the modeling part. Okay, so one by one I have discussed. So there are 4 or 5 methods are there. Okay, so I think you are able to understand. So especially this subject is designed for that modeling and control of switching converters. Okay, and different switch mode power converters. Okay, so in this canonical model we are in previous modeling you can see that PWM. Okay, so pulse width modulation concept is not directly discussed with this modeling, but definitely it was there. Basically you are making the duty cycle perturbating, so D plus means one DC value plus some ripple means capped AC value. Okay, so that was there in your previous slide, but here you can see another realizations. Okay, the details realizations of that duty cycles. Okay, how is it coming? Okay, so you can understand. Okay, so here you can see that PWM CCM. Okay, CCM means pulse width modulated and continuous conduction mode. Okay, continuous conduction mode. DCC converter perform the same basic functions. Okay, so all the modelings you can see that their working is same. Okay, so output may be same, but the main difference is that accuracy. Okay, so how much accurately you are able to model your converter. That's the basic motivation for using for different techniques of that modeling of switching converter. That is your basic idea. Okay, so from here you can see or you can understand that transformation. So PWM CCM boost converter perform the basic functions. Okay, so what you can understand here that transformation of voltage and current level. Okay, so voltage and current level ideally with 100% efficiency. Okay, so you can see that almost efficiency is nearer to the 100%. Basically you can see in my first, actually I am in my third module. Okay, so in our first module I discussed about that different applications of switching converters, and you can see the efficiency level. So why we are considering the switching power supplies over the linear power supplies, you can see, you can go back that slides or go back that lecture, so you can understand that value. So I have already discussed. Okay, so that efficiency is nearer to the 100% in switch mode power converters, like beyond the 95%. Okay, so that's why if you consider that ideal, so definitely it will 100% efficiency, but practically it is nearer to the 95%. Okay, that means beyond 90% efficiency. That is another benefits why you for choosing of switching circuits. Okay, the transformations of voltage and current level ideally with 100% efficiency. Number two, the low pass filtering of waveforms. Okay, so control of waveforms by variation of duty cycle. Okay, so you can understand that low pass filtering of the waveform means that reductions of that harmonics. Okay, so switching, you know that switching frequency is high. Okay, so how much you are able to reduce that switching harmonics means multiplications or multiplication, even multiplication in the calculation skills, you can emit or you can omit some of the even harmonics, but other harmonics like your odd harmonics, how do you removing? So filter designing another important issues. Okay, and control of waveform by variation of the duty cycle. So how do you look like your control signal waveform? Okay, so I told you now. So if you see the converter dynamics, okay, in broad manner, so definitely there is some good effect of good effort of control signal. Okay, selection of your control parameters means which controller you are using. Okay, and the parameters of that control parameter means pole zero locations. Okay, so all are related to define your defined, all are related to there are direct applications, so direct interactions with the converter dynamics. Okay, if that control parameter in closed loop control parameters are changed, so you can see there is a direct effect to the periodicity of your closed loop converter dynamics. Okay, so periodicity is, it may be changed. Okay, it may be changed means okay, means initially you can see that pattern of the inductor currents. Okay, pattern of the inductor currents or the capacitor voltage. Okay, so after switch off, okay, first in switch on condition it is ramp on. Okay, means it will taking some maximum current. Okay, try to reach the maximum value of current. There are normally three mode of operations in current mode control. One is called peak current control, next one is valley current control, another one is average current control. Okay, three modes of operations are there. Okay, in peak current mode control, so you can see that current is ramp up. Okay, and it can go up to I reference, means reference current, then it is ramped down. Okay, so it is look like a triangular one. So if your initial point means I0, okay, I0 and ITS, okay, so if both are in the same level, so you will get that one single periodicity. Okay, if both are not same and it is coming to the after one period, okay, sorry, it is coming to the same point after two period. Okay, so you will get the two periodicity of 2. So it will directly affect to the converter dynamics. Okay, if you plot them in xy plane, so you can see that there is a limit cycle. Okay, so the periodicity means the periodicity of this limit cycle. Okay, so how it will affect? So changing of that control parameter, there is a direct effect on that converter dynamics. Okay, so control waveform with the variation of duty cycle, another important issue. So in this canonical circuit model, so we are giving you much more emphasis on the converter duty cycles and the effect. So how would you accurately you are going to be design that control effort of your converter, means closed loop converter. Okay, so hence we expect the equivalent circuit model to be qualitatively similar. So most of the cases you can see there is not such changes of the transformerized model. So it has started with DC transformations, DC transformerized model. Then you can carry on in your as per your requirements. Okay, so rest of the thing you are going to be changed. Sometimes you are using that averaged modeling. Okay, so averaging all the parameters like that way. So in canonical model, so what is your most important features? Okay, a standard form of that equivalent circuit model. Okay, so that means there is a presence of equivalent circuit model which represent the above physical properties. Okay, so physical properties means that circuit model gives you the physical properties of your converter. In my last class I told you, converter dynamics is totally changing with the selection of your converter parameter value. Okay, so input voltage, output voltage, okay, switching frequency, inductor parameter, inductor value, capacitor value, the how to select the inductor value, capacitor value, the total calculations. I think that portion is covered by you in your power electronics class. So I am not going to cover the selection of that converter parameters value for the current mode control, sorry, for the continuous conduction mode control or the discontinuous conduction mode control, the boundary conditions means for the critically continuous conduction mode and discontinuous conduction. So I am not going to repeat the same thing. Okay, so I can repeat it, but if I repeat the same thing, so what happens? So wastage of your time. Okay, so in your curriculum you should have much more focused. How would you know the more information from this course? Okay, so same thing, same topic should not be repeat. Okay, that's why we are much more specialized. Okay, in different ideas on different subject topics. Okay, so in your power electronics it's a generalized idea. So now in switch mode power converter circuit we are much more giving the focus on the converter modeling, details modeling. Okay, that details modeling is not discussed any of your subjects of this current semester. Okay, and the control designing, that also not been discussed. Okay, that's why I am giving much more trust. Okay, trust on these ideas. Okay, how do you select the converter topology, how to model it, and how the control will be designed, how the circuit means control signal is coming to your converter switches, that I am going to be discussed over here. Okay, that's the basic motivations for teaching this subject. So similar type of thing should not be discussed. Okay, so how much you can grab or how much you can gather the knowledge from your curriculum, that should be your first and preliminary and fundamental idea about it. Okay, so that's why physical property is coming from the equivalent circuit model, means transformerized circuit model. Okay, I think you are able to know that concept. Plugging parameters value at the given specific converter. So definitely is for the specific converter, specific value will be there. How do you select the specific value? That is another important issues. Like you are selecting the switching frequency 50 kilohertz. Why are you selecting the switching frequency 50 kilohertz? What is the basic motivation beyond it? So if you increase the value of switching frequency, definitely the sizing of your inductor or the capacitor will be less. But why 50 kilohertz? Why not 20 kilohertz? Okay, so what is the problem in case of 20 kilohertz? So it is you know that frequency is in an audible range. Okay, so 20 to 20 kilohertz maximum. So you can see that some noise, switching noise when that converter is operating. That's why you should choose the switching frequency beyond your 20 kilohertz. Okay, then rest of the thing depends upon your efficiency. Okay, so if you see that 25 kilohertz, what is your converter efficiency, 50 kilohertz, what is the converter efficiency. The sizing of the parameters is important, means sizing of your energy storing element is important, but you have to check about your efficiency. Okay, so means optimum efficiency where you can be achieved. Okay, so efficiency is increasing, so how do you be efficiency will be increasing? That means power loss, reduction of your power loss component. Okay, efficiency is power in output by power input. So power input means power output plus P loss, means power losses. So if you reduce the value of power losses, so definitely you can increase the efficiency. So that's why you can go beyond, you can increase the level of frequency, means switching frequency. But if you increase the switching frequency level, then another problem will be there, that is called EMI problem, EMC problem. Okay, so nonlinear oscillations also be there, that it having directly effect to the converter dynamics. So when you are choosing the parameter value, so you should select that optimum value. Okay, so it should not be the trial and error method. First you have to find out, or you have to take the standard method. Okay, so standard procedure you have to follow. Okay, then you will get some reference value. Okay, after getting the reference parameter level, then you can design the next you can go for the next step. Okay, so after getting some of the reference level, so now you can tune the other parameters. Okay, so what is your standard value? Okay, that is available in your market. Okay, what is the voltage level of your converter input? What should be the voltage level of your converter output? So converter output voltage level similar to your applications, depends upon your appliance wattage and the appliance voltage level, current level. Are you getting my point? I think so. Okay, so that should be your main concern. Okay, so what is your appliance are there, means where you are going to be use your converter. Okay, so you should design the entire thing. Okay, enter the converter as per your requirement. Okay, what is your requirement? Okay, and what is your available resources, means how much voltage is available with your system. Okay, so input and output should be defined such a manner with the availability of the resources and the application range of your converter, or the application level of power or level of voltage. Okay, if it is required 500 watt converter or 200 watt converter, 100 watt converter or 5 watt converter, how do you select it? So as per your requirement, if your requirement is 500 watts, so you have to design that converter in the range of 500 watt. So in that case, after selecting that amount of power, so you have to, that gives you direct reflections of your selection of the converter switches. Okay, so for 5 watt you can choose that MOSFET switch, or you can choose the BJT switches. But if you go for that 500 watt or beyond 1 kilowatt, then MOSFET is not suitable for that purpose. In that case, you have to select that IGBT. Okay, if it is more than kV range, okay, then in that case you have to select that special type of switches like IGCT. Okay, so other different solid state devices are already available. So as per your requirement, you should select it. So I think you are able to understand that selection of the parameter values, okay, of the converter. Okay, Now you know that diagram is known to you. Okay, so development of the canonical circuit model. So converter modeling is already discussed, means transformerized modeling. So it is your DC. Okay, so DC transformerized modeling. Okay, that part I have not been used, but I have used in AC transformerized model. So it may be more or less similar to your DC transformerized model. Only you can see that parameters, that values are in DC value. Okay, so this is difference of your AC transformerized model. Okay, so that portion I have not covered, but if I get some time, so definitely I will cover again the DC transformerized model, but I have discussed about AC transformerized model. So in that case I think you are able to realize the thing. So only the thing is that it will be DC. Okay, so the ratio is 1 is to MD, means that is your functions of that gain. Okay, so it is your load resistance, and DC control input is there, duty control input is there, you are giving that input over here. So power input. Okay, so control input is here and it is your load. Okay, so I think you are able to understand that concept. Okay, power input is there, power output is there. Okay, so all the cases the convention is like that, power input should be similar to your power output. Okay, only that voltage and current level are changing. Okay, so power is fixed. Okay, so how they are changing? With the changing of your duty or the changing of your control input. Okay, so control is very important. Are fundamental issues for changing that control converter modeling or converter dynamics. Okay, so here you can see over there the development of the canonical circuit model. So different steps are there. So first step one, you should get the transformations of DC voltage and the current level. So you have to select that how much DC voltage is there and how much current you should require. So that I am telling my first slide in today's introductory portion, that availability of the resource and the uses of your converter. Okay, so the purpose of applications, if you know, so you can select that voltage and current rating of your converter. Okay, so if you get that voltage and current rating, so you can easily find out the power rating of the converter, multiplications of voltage and current. Okay, and you can see, you can define your selections range, you can define the range of applications. Okay, then you can go for the model as in the ideal DC transformer. That portion I have told you now. So like your previous cases, AC transformerized model, so you can go for the DC transformerized model, or you can follow the chapter 3 in Ericsson book. Okay, actually that I am follow that Ericsson book. Okay, fundamental of power electronics. So you can go through from there, so you can understand the basics. So simple thing, there is in this subject, the subject is too simple, but you have to realize that problem. Okay, if you are able to realize the mathematical modeling, how do you design the control, so you can understand that you can solve a lot of all the numerical problems from this chapter. So I think all of you should start. Okay, all of you are starting about the solving of your assignments, means all the numerical problems of your Ericsson exercise, and I will collect that single assignments from your side. So all of you try by yourself, then you can consult yourself and prepare the single file. Okay, so better if you type it, so that will be better. Okay, so and means digitalized form, means in office if you do it, so it will be better. Means office format, means MS Office format, so it will be better. But you can do it first, you have to solve it in your pen and paper, then you can consult yourself that which one is the correct one, which is not, where is that problem, then you can discuss and prepare that one. That is your that is your final assignment, you have to submit it. Okay, before that completing after completing this course. Okay, so effective turns ratio, so it will be defined your as per the functions for the for buck converter. You know that concepts. Okay, 1 is to D. In boost converter it is 1 is to 1 minus D. Buck boost converter D is to 1 minus D. That's the formula you should follow. So MD value will be changed as per your converter topology. Okay, can refine the DC model by additions of effective loss of element. Okay, so effective loss elements means energy storing elements will be there. Okay, so due to the energy storing, discharging, so some of the losses will be there. So as you will get that loss, so you have to go, you are able to find out the efficiency, converter efficiency. Next, the steps in development of canonical circuit model. Okay, so here you can see that first step, it is step 1. Okay, it is step 1, Now we are going to step 2. So all the heading is same. In step 2, we are going to find out that value. Okay, AC variations in input voltage. Okay, so VG induced the AC variations in VT means you can define or you can pattern. Okay, or you're linearizing that VG plus cap VG means it is a small AC variations. Okay, then you can see that is change. Okay, previous one it was only DC value. Okay, now it is AC/DC value. Okay, AC/DC values are there. Okay, then this is VG for DC and VCAP G for AC. So both the cases it will be same. These variations are also transformed by the conversion ratio. Okay, so what will be that DT value? Okay, so now in next step, okay, in step 3, the converter must contains and the effective low pass filter, okay, in the characteristics. So one effective low pass filter you can see over here, one effective low pass filter is there, okay, the transfer function of that low pass filter is HES, so that is responsible for mitigating the harmonics. Okay, it is necessary to switching ripples. Okay, so mitigating the harmonics due to the switching frequency, and that you can observe in the form of ripples. Okay, so you have to overcome that ripples, okay, by using by selecting that converter filter. Okay, so you have to design it. So you can able to understand that input side. Okay, input side you can see that VG plus VCAP G. Okay, then 1:MD is there. Okay, so JDIS is there, JD0S also be there, means input and output. Okay, Z parameter is your input and output, it is in transformerized form. Okay, and output is same. So new thing is that you are inserting one effective filter. So filter you are using over here, new thing. Okay, also the filter AC variation. So DC variations is there, means AC variation you can also see. The effective filter element may not coincide the actual element values, but can also depends on the operating point. So if that operating points has changed, okay, so that value of filter also been changed. Okay, the normal concept. Then you can consider that steps are development the canonical form. So first last step is your control input variation. So the last step is related to your control input variation. So from here you can understand that values are that all the values are there, average values are there. So now it is calculated from your previous calculations. Okay, so I think you are able to understand how to get it. So you can cross check it after by calculating in your classwork copy, so you can recheck it. Okay, so how it is coming. So introduce that AC variations in the converter waveform, then it is independent source represent effects on the variation of duty cycle. Okay, so if your duty cycle is varying, so definitely that values will be changing, because that current source value is directly multiplied with your duty ratio, capping value of duty ratio, and EMF that is coming over here. Okay, can push all the source to input side shown in the figure, and source may become the frequency dependent. Okay, so definitely source becomes the frequency dependent. You can see some J factors are there. Okay, so and S, you can see that all are in S domain. Okay, so S domain means it is complex frequency domain, so definitely it is switching frequency dependent. Okay, if that value has changed, so definitely it has directly effect on the AC component. Okay, so it is in switching frequency dependent sources. Okay, now you can go for the transfer functions. Okay, that is line to output transfer function that I was discussed. Another one is control to output transfer function. Okay, control to output, line to output means it is output voltage by input voltage, but they are in AC mode. Okay, so it is coming MD into HES. Okay, so that is your line to output transfer function. Another control to output, so control transfer function means your DS. Okay, so output is your DS, control to output transfer function, and VS is your output. Okay, so output by input, so it is coming ES multiplied with your MD into HES. Okay, so that portion is there. Okay, these two I have already discussed in one of the buck converter, boost converter, and buck boost converter. Okay, so that generalized modeling and how is it coming, so that I have been already discussed this portion. Okay, so I have directly written that formulas. Now that example for the buck boost converter for the same modeling method. So you know that small signal AC modeling of buck boost converter, that is already defined. So here you know that structure of the buck boost converter, it already been discussed. Okay, that voltage source, then current source, then how it is coming. So input current, that is this configuration is input current, then inductor voltage, okay, then finally capacitor current. Okay, so these three combinations are there. It is DC AC. Okay, so first AC then DC. Okay, both are present now. So part of it model is there, that's why both of the signals are there. So push independent source into the input side transformer, put inductor out to output side transformer, combine the transformer. So how they are getting, so independently they are calculating that input combination, independently they are calculating the expressions of inductor, expressions of input current, then inductor voltage and capacitor current, then they are combining all of them. Okay, so and finally you are getting the transformerized model. Okay, then calculations are there for the stepwise calculations for buck boost converter. So the push voltage source through 1:D transformer, move the current source to D dash to 1 transformer. So they are transforming, okay, transforming that concept. So here they are transforming that current source as per the convention to the what? Sources should be your left side, means sources push independent source to the input side of transformer. Okay, so all the independent source should be input side of the transformer. So here you can see that current source is your output. So if you transfer them from output side to input side, so it will come in here. So you can see that diagram, that current source is coming that side. Okay, but current source is coming here, and that voltage source, okay, that voltage source is coming to that side. Okay, so that's why it is divided by D. It is 1:D ratio. So that's why the D comes here, and again it is D dash to 1. So if it is come from right side to left side, so definitely 1 by D dash term will be there. Okay, so again another transformations are required. Okay, so then what happened, how to move the current source the pass to the inductor. So break the ground connections of the current source and connect to the node A instead. Connect an ideal current source from node A to ground so that the node equations are unchanged. Okay, so we have to making it unchanged. So as per the convention, so what was there, so current source right now here you can see there is a ground. Okay, so ground, that means this portion is directly connected to the negative terminal of your load resistance. Okay, now when you are transferring that independent current source to the left hand side, means your circuit here. Okay, and your voltage source you are directly connected over here. So ground has been changed. Okay, and what is your output? So ground has been changed means you have to reconnect that portions, you have to reconnect that portion. So how it will be coming, so as per the convention you can say like that, you can separating. Okay, so you can say like that, you are making it separating. So directly you are remove that one and you are connecting that current source directly here. So you can see that a current is coming from that portions and it will coming to here like that. So you are getting that connections. Okay, so you are making that ground over here. Okay, so basically you are connecting that as per the parallel to your inverter, look like that. Okay, so by force you are making that node A over here. Okay, so connecting them directly through one source to another source. Okay, so then what was your then inductor is there, so you can differential equation, so you can calculate that value. Okay, so Laplace transformation, so directly you are getting that one, and your current source is always will be there. So now you are replacing as per the Thevenin's equivalent network. Okay, so parallel connected source, parallel connected current source, and the inductor can now be replaced by the Thevenin equivalent network. So directly you can calculate it from the Thevenin's equivalent network, and you are able to get that value. Okay, all of you, I am suggesting all of you please cross check all those steps. Okay, so and try to find out how is it coming, means how that calculations are there. Okay, so finally what will be your expression? So now again it will be convert. Okay, so now again that source will be converted from this circuit, means from your middle circuit to your left hand side circuit. So as per the convention, only independent source, second current source is there, that will be transformed from your right side to left side as per the convention from the step 1. Okay, Now if you push them, so again that current source will be there, will be divided, will be multiplied. Voltage it was divided by D, so in current it will be multiplied with D. Then again you can say there that current source, both of the source is, and it will directly connected over here, so you should not connect directly to current source to that ground position, neutral position. So you have to remove that one and you have to connect that source to here. Okay, that source to here, connect it. Okay, so that's why you are getting the new structure of your circuit. Okay, so now you say like that, now push the current source through 1:D transformer and push the current source past voltage source again by breaking ground connections of current source and connecting to node B instead. Okay, so now breaking that connections and make it connected to the node B. Okay, connecting ideal current source from node B to ground so that the node equations are unchanged. Okay, so that your node equations is unchanged. Okay, note the resulting parallel connected voltage and current source are equivalent to a single voltage source. Now both I used to like that a single voltage source. If you connect over there, so what was your circuit? Okay, so finally you will get the circuit. So connecting all those values and directly connect current source is there, all are in parallel. So finally you will get that circuit. Okay, so you can calculate that value. Okay, so previously you can see that voltage source is there. Now you are transferring that voltage source to left side and you are add both of them. So finally you will get that value, and in right hand side you can see only the filter component. So that filter component is only there, and in your left side all the voltage sources are in together and all the current source are in together. That's the basic form of your canonical form, and you can say like that combined series connected transformer. So again it's a AC/DC. So AC/DC, that's why it is called combined series connected transformer. AC/DC basically that's any of the parameters or any of the variables is splitting into two components. One is DC component, another one is cap component, means AC component. Okay, that's why you are getting these two combinations of circuit. Okay, all the sources, independent sources are in your left hand side and all the other elements, other things are in your right hand side. Okay, so here you can see it's an effective low pass filter combinations. Okay, push the voltage source through 1:D transformer and combine with your existing input side transformer. Okay, so you are getting that final one. So all the ratios are there. So it is 1:D and D is to 1. So finally what will be your ratio? Ratio is coming that D is to D dash, D dash is to D. Okay. So coefficient of the control input voltage generator, now you have to find out the value of ES. So if you able to find out that value of ES, so now you can directly get that expressions, means transformer, you get that transfer functions. Okay, so what is your ES? So ES is coming Vg plus V whole divided by D minus S Li by D dash. So that portions. Okay, that is called your ES. Okay, so that ES means now you are comparing that equation with that one. Okay, so finally, so you are making the circuit in the form of your canonical form. Okay, now you can compare them. Okay, so we have that basic structure. Okay, so it is your reference value. Okay, that is your reference model. Okay, so from that model you are getting that line to output transfer function, control to output transfer function. Okay, so here you are getting that 1:MD. Okay, that is standard one. Okay, so now for the buck boost converter you have convert, or you are convert the structure of equivalent structure of buck boost converter, means transformerized structure of buck boost converter in this canonical form. Now we can compare both of the circuits. So here it is coming ES D cap S. Okay, so what is that value of ES D cap S? Now you can compare that value. Okay, so if you standard thing is there, so it is ES D cap S. So what is your ES? Vg minus V whole divided by D minus S Li by D dash. Okay, it was JS DS. Okay, what is the value of JS? So now simplification using DC realization. What is the value of ES? you are just simplifying that value. Okay, so vy minus v, that portion you have common. Okay, so take a common, no problem, you can if you don't want, you cannot take that common, no issue. Okay, so finally it is coming like that, v minus vy d dash equal to that calculations, it is directly coming from here. Okay, so pushing the source pass to the inductor cause the generator become the frequency dependent. So you can see over here it is dependent on S, that means it is frequency dependent. Okay, so it is your voltage source coefficient, that is ES. Okay, so similarly that JS you have to calculate. So what is that value of JS? JS value is I by D dash, capital I by D dash. So VG plus V cap G equal to what? Vg plus V cap G you have to calculate. So it is same, no problem. But in case of LC filter, okay, L by D dash square and C, okay, both are there. So you can compare from this circuit. So what is Z0? Okay, so what is your ZEI? What is your JDIS, JD0S and HES, that you need to be calculated. Okay. So one table is given, so we are doing it for the buck boost converter. Okay, for buck boost converter, that MD value from the canonical form. Okay, that MD value from the canonical form, it is coming, normally it is coming D dash by D. Okay, D dash by D. Okay, so D dash by D means now we have to MD, you have to calculate. So 1 is to 1 by MD equal to D dash by D. So what is your MD? D by D dash. Okay, so D dash means 1 minus D. Okay, so that is coming the standard one. So I am telling you that MD value. Okay, so buck converter, it is coming D. Simple thing. Boost converter, the value of MD is 1 by D dash means 1 by 1 minus D. Now LE. Okay, LE, what you are going to be calculate for buck boost converter? L by D dash square from here. L by D dash square, and C is similar to the C. Okay, so C is there similar to C, and ES. What is your ES? ES calculated from here, Vg plus V by D minus S Li by D dash. So you can simplify it. Okay, so minus V by D dash within bracket 1 minus S by DL by D dash square into R. So I think you are able to understand that value. Okay, but you are taking the real common. Okay, so find out it. So what is the value of JS? Okay, JS equals to minus V by D dash R. Okay, so that JS, okay, JS is coming from here, I by D dash. So if you have that value, you can replace the value of I. So you can able to find out that value. Okay, so it is coming V by I equal to what? V by R. Okay, I equal to V by R. So again that R you are transferring to here. So again that D dash term will be there. Okay, that's why you are replacing that value. Okay, D dash V by here from I equal to, it is coming I by ds, I by d dash. So it is V by D dash R. So it is coming. So V by D dash square into R. Okay, so you can replace that I. So in the form of I you can also write down, but you are doing everything in the form of V. Na? That's why you are replace that I value V by D dash R. Okay, so R should be transformed from that side to here. Okay, so that's why that V dash is coming like that. So your work, your classwork, your classwork is to do the canonical modeling for ideal buck and boost. You have to cross check it. Okay, so that is your classwork or homework. You can do it in your class fair copy. Okay, so when you are going to submit it, I will cross check it that you are doing or not. Okay, so you have to calculate the value of buck converter for the canonical form, that what is the value of LE, what is the value of ES for buck converter, JS. Okay, then boost converter L by D dash square, then ES value for the buck boost converter and the JS value. So that you need to do it in your copy and for the cross checking that the table is okay or not, table is correct or not. That is your homework. Okay, so I think you are able to understand the formations of the canonical form and the circuit parameter, how we are going to get that converter. So I think you are able to understand. Now we are much more focused about that modeling the pulse width modulator. Okay, so modeling of the pulse width modulator. So in the pulse width modulations, okay, so in the pulse width modulations, so we are using that switching converter. So switching, you know that you are familiar with this structure. Okay, so you have that switching converter circuit. So generalized circuit is here. So we are using the circuit of a buck converter. That circuit configuration is like a buck converter. So power input is there and load is there. Okay, so you have to control the switch pulse. Okay, so I all the time I have told you that in my last class I discussed about feed forward control and feedback control. Now here I am going to discuss about feedback connections. Okay, feedback connection means your voltage source is there. Okay, that all are instantaneous. You are considering like that means instantaneous means it may be splitted in two functions. One is your DC plus small variation of the AC. Okay, that's why VG in your italic form. Okay, VG, VT all are in italic form. So that italic form VG equal to capital VG plus capped VG. Okay, so it is your pulse width modulator converter voltage signal VC into the duty cycle signal DT. Okay, what is the relation between VC and DT? So that is coming. Okay. So in feedback path, you are stress or you are sense the output voltage V, it is coming here V. Now you are comparing that V with your reference value. So it is your reference voltage, the voltage reference coming. So after going that voltage, so one compensator is there. So all the time it is a voltage mode control, standard single loop controller voltage mode control of a switching converter. Okay. So here you can see that VC is there for control signal. So what will be control signal look like that? So it is look like small, slowly varying value of VC. Okay, with the time of t. Okay, so almost fixed one. Okay, and it should nearer to the zero. Now your pulse width modulator is there. Pulse width modulator means it's a comparator. Comparator of what? Here you can see. Okay, so a pulse width modulator, how it will be look like that. So is VC is coming. Okay, so that analog input VC is coming from here. So from here you can see that VC is coming. Okay, that VC. Okay, VC is look like that slowly variations. Okay, so VC is there and sawtooth waveform for voltage mode control. You are directly giving the sawtooth waveform like that. So it is your VC. Okay, that is it is your VC. And it is your sawtooth waveforms. Okay, sawtooth waveform means it may be triangular or sawtooth. Okay, look like here. So it is coming from function generator. Okay, for voltage mode control. But in case of current mode control, you are directly using that current signal of inductor. Okay, current of the inductor in the place of sawtooth waveform. Okay, so basically that current pulse also will look like your triangular one. Okay, or you can say like the sawtooth one. Okay, so that's why you are using. So when you are comparing, okay, it is your maximum value. Okay, Vm is your maximum value, maximum peak of the sawtooth. Now you are comparing them. So Vc and V sawtooth. So when it is less than, so V control, it is your V control. Okay, V control is less than your sawtooth means these positions. Okay, control is less. V control is less than of your triangular one, and switch will be you will get that high pulse that I am going to discuss. Actually, I haven't discussed question. So do you have any class of the after my class?
Yes, sir. We have an exam.
You have an exam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm trying to complete as early as possible. Okay. Allow please mute your microphone. Okay. So when it is happen means VC high means what? Here you can see that VC is high. Okay, VC is high means your error will be high. Okay, so VC value high means your output voltage is low and compared to reference. So that value VC will be more. Okay, VC will be more means output is less. Okay, so how for the stability of the converter, so you have to make that output more that be nearer to the reference value. That's why you are giving that reference. It is reference is connected plus and output voltage is connected in minus. So that's why you are making it plus. Okay, so you try to turn on that converter. Okay, so that's why you are making it on. Okay, so on pulse is there. So if your control signal is less than, if your control signal is if your reference signal or the sawtooth signal is less than of your control signal, that time you are making your duty cycle on. okay, for turning on that converter for the mode time. So mode turning on means your output will be more and try to nearer to reach that V reference. Okay, when it will be reached to the V reference, then what happen? Then your output will be less, means error, that it is error signal. Okay, so V reference minus V output means you are getting that error signal. So error signal is less. Okay, means you should off your converter, otherwise unnecessarily your output voltage will be high. So that's why when that reference signal, when your control signal is less than of your shortcut signal, so automatically that will be off time. So up to DTS you can say like that, 0 to DTS it will be on, then less after that DTS it will be off. Okay, so shortcut waveform, so it's a comparator, it's your comparative operation, and finally you will get that PWM. Okay, that's why you are getting that PWM. So from that PWM, then there is a driver circuit. Okay, so driver circuit is there, transistor driver circuit, field effective transistor or current control transistor, BJT, maybe MOSFET, both are there. So it having driver circuit. Okay, that can amplify that current strength for your BJT, or if it is not BJT, if it's a MOSFET, so it can limiting that current value, and finally you can feed to the pulse to the switching converter. Okay, so equations for the pulse width modulations. So for the linear shortwave waveform is there. So dt equal to Vc by Vm. Okay, so it is your Vc. Okay, it is your Vc. How much maximum go that Vc? It should be Vm. Okay, so by the changing of that Vc, that pulse width will be varying. So if that Vc is moving, so when Vc is go up upward means go up to Vm, so your thickness of that pulse will be changing. Okay, thickness will be more. If it is go less, the thickness will be less. So you can movement you can change the pulse width. Okay, by the changing of your Vc level. So Vc goes high means towards your Vm, so your pulse width will be more. If Vc goes to the zero position, so your pulse width will be thin. Okay, I think you are able to understand. That's why Vc by Vm. So duty ratio is coming Vc by Vm and 0 to Vm. So range is for Vc is 0 to Vm. It is 0, maximum is Vm. Okay, 0 less equal 0 less equal to Vc, less equal to Vm. So dt is linear function of Vc. Okay, I think you are able to understand. Okay, so next one for the Parter-Bed equations for the pulse width modulations. So we are giving that Vc and Vc. So one small perturbation is there for the Vc signal. So AC component as well as DC component, it is 1 by Vm, that is coming that duty ratios. Okay, for the topology, as per the topology of the converter, you will get the duty ratios. Okay, in the it having some constant value and one Parter-Bed value. Okay, that is ds, and dc and ac realization d equal to vc by vm for steady state value, and for your ac component dt. Okay, dt equal to vc cap by vm. Okay, that is steady state value, that is ac value, and you are getting that PWM signal over here. So dt equal to vc by vm. So you know that equations, that range I have discussed in my previous slides. Then perturbation you are using that portions. Okay, and that result is d plus dt. Okay, d plus dt equal to vc plus v cap t whole divided by vm. So both the cases you can see that vm is constant. Okay, so maximum value it is your constant value. That's why it is vc by m plus v cap c by m. So directly you can write that d plus dt. Okay, d plus d cap t equal to vc plus v cap c t whole divided by Vm. I think you are able to understand. Very simple thing. Okay. Then sampling of the pulse width modulation. So normally we are using analog circuit, but in case of digital circuit, okay, the digital PWM is required. So in that case we are using the sampler. Okay, sampler for converting the analog signal to the digital signal. So that frequency of the sampler, of that switching frequency, should be the nearer to the sampler frequency. Okay, what is written like that? The input voltage is a continuous function of time, but there can be only one discrete value duty cycle for each switching period. So if you want to convert that continuous signal to the discretized signal or the digital signal of the PWM, so you have to incorporate on sampler. Okay, therefore the pulse width modulation samples the control waveform with the sampling rate equal to the switching frequency. So what is the consideration? That sampler frequency should be similar to your switching frequency. Okay. In practice, this limit the useful frequency of AC variation to the values much less than the switching frequency. Control system bandwidth. Okay, so you know the concept of the bilinear transformations, you know the bilinear theorems. Okay, so it's not directly Shannon's theorem. Okay, Shannon's law. So that switching frequency, okay, satisfy the less than the Nyquist rate, that Fs by 2. Models that do not account in the sampling are accurately only at the frequency much less than Fs by 2, means switching frequency by 2. So you know that formula is coming, the digital control signals chapters, means Shannon's switching frequency. As per the concept of the Shannon switching frequency, the sampler frequency should be less than that Fs by 2. Okay, that is the basic concept of the digital switching or digital control, or you can say the digital PWM. Okay, the main problem is that if you increase the sampler frequency, then there is a cause for the instability or the unstable conditions. Okay, that's why unstable of your converter dynamics. That's why you should not go beyond that range. Okay, so as per the theorem, you have to follow that instruction. So if you have any queries, you can ask me, so we can again rediscuss some of the points. Okay, so I have completed my module 3. Okay, thank you all of you. So if you have, so I am expecting from your side, so you can submit that class note of your module 3 as early as possible. Okay, so if you have any question, any queries, you can ask me, so I can rediscuss some of the portions. Otherwise, I will take your attendance and I can complete my class, as you have some exam on after my session. So that's why I'm asking you. Okay, so I hope there is no question from your side, so I can stop my session.